early birds and overachievers. The Pregnancy Resources 30th anniversary banquet is going to start in 7 minutes. 7 minutes. So now is the time. Grab your cookies, turn off your crock pot, get to the couch, and get ready. Welcome to Pregnancy Resources 30th Anniversary Celebration. My name is Trisha Wilson and I'm the Executive Director here, and it is my privilege to start my night out with you. Tonight, we're going to be celebrating 30 years of ministry in the Quad Cities. Now, I know this isn't what we usually do. Usually we put on a nice dress or a suit and tie, we get together and have a fancy dinner, and we share and we celebrate. Tonight, you're going to hang out in your living room or at your kitchen table. And tonight, I'm at the Moline Center. But that's okay. Even though it's different, God is still here. God is doing and has done amazing things in the Quad Cities through this ministry. So right now, as we get ready to reflect, to dream, to hear amazing testimonies, I want you to sit back, take a deep breath, and enjoy the show.
Every story has a beginning, and ours began in 1989. It was that summer when God called two women impacted by the pain of abortion to open a crisis pregnancy center right here in the Quad Cities. Now, over the years, the faces have changed, the name has changed, and the locations have changed. But Pregnancy Resources has stayed faithful to this unwavering vision. Unplanned pregnancies and abortions will decrease as we offer biblically based, holistic, life-affirming services and ongoing care.
On June 18, 1990, 30 years ago today, the doors of Pregnancy Resources opened. This house in Rock Island was the launch pad for a ministry that would go on to touch tens of thousands of lives. To date, there have been 82,055 client visits to our centers, and more than 27,546 women and men have found help and hope.
Part of our holistic approach to ministry, in 1991, post-abortion care was added to help address the painful after effects of abortion. Through the years, hundreds have participated in this biblical study and found both freedom and forgiveness. Many have gone on to minister to others who have made the same painful choice.
Teaching biblically based sexual integrity has always been a part of our story. Since 1991, at least 61,061 students have heard the No Regrets Abstinence message. Many public schools are eager for our sexual integrity message to return to their classrooms when school resumes in the fall.
In 1994, with the help of generous benefactor, the Davenport Center opened and ministry impact nearly doubled. Now life-affirming help was available on both sides of the river. Next, God provided a much larger space in downtown Moline, and in 1997, the moving boxes came out again. Ministry opportunities grew and flourished for 20 years in that location.
Pregnancy Resources transitioned to a limited medical clinic in 1999 and began offering limited ultrasounds. This is a picture of the first baby scanned in our center. To date, more than 6,186 life-affirming ultrasounds have been provided free of charge. It's a profound thing to see your child's heart beating on a screen when that heart is the size of a poppy seed. Life is a beautiful choice.
In the summer of 2016, community impact increased again with the purchase of a brand new mobile medical unit. Now, life-affirming early pregnancy care, intervention, and education are provided remotely to clients when visiting the center is not possible.
Finally, in the spring of 2018, God answered a decades-long prayer and provided our newest location on 16th Street in Moline. This location offers single-floor services and houses our mobile medical unit in a perfectly sized, climate-controlled garage.
It has been a fantastic first 30 years. God has answered prayers and opened doors in ways only previously dreamed. We are grateful, we are blessed beyond measure, and we are just getting started.
God is so amazing. I never get tired of hearing about how He shows up every day in Pregnancy Resources. I never get tired of hearing about the work that is accomplished in Jesus' name throughout the Quad Cities. Did you catch that number? In the first 30 years of ministry, over 27,546 moms and dads have come here to find help and hope. There have been more than 6,186 free life-affirming ultrasounds, and 91% of our clients have chosen life for their child. 91%. This is not the kind of ministry that any one person could ever accomplish on their own. This kind of impact only happens when we join together as God's people to pursue His call and His purpose in His community. It is your time, it is your investment of prayer, and it is your financial investment that makes this kind of ministry happen in the Quad Cities on a consistent basis. Every year at Pregnancy Resources, we have a tradition. That tradition is to honor one volunteer who has gone above and beyond to share hope and help to the greater community of the Quad Cities. This year, we are thrilled to honor one very special woman. This volunteer has been a part of this ministry since 1991. She has served as a volunteer, as staff person, and again as a volunteer. With her guidance and with her grace, she has helped shape ministry here at Pregnancy Resources. She leads our post-abortion recovery program. She is an example of Christ's love, and she lives Christ's mercy every day. It is my honor to announce that this year's CJ Payne Volunteer of the Year Award is being presented to Kathy Nagel. So I've been with this ministry for about 11 years, and I can tell you it's not uncommon for me to meet people along the way who have been touched and impacted by the ministry of Pregnancy Resources. Last week I was at a big box store and I met a manager who told me about her son who's in college, and she came to see us when she was 19 and single and scared. It was here that she got a pregnancy test and an ultrasound, and it was here that someone told her, it's gonna be okay. You can do this. Recently, I visited a church and got to meet a grandma who showed me the picture of her 12-year-old. Her 12-year-old who is here today because that little one's mom and dad came here and received a life-affirming ultrasound. It's here that people walk through the doors every day, stressed, afraid, and discouraged. And it's our team, our volunteers and our staff members, our women and our men who love Jesus that sit down and share hope. Tonight, you're going to hear several stories of hope. Our first testimony comes from a longtime friend of this ministry. Her name is Rhonda. Rhonda was one of our very first clients. She came to see us almost 30 years ago, and Rhonda is the perfect example of how lives are changed and families are impacted for generations by the love that they find in these doors.
I'm excited to share my story with you today and celebrate 30 years with Pregnancy Resources. It was 30 years ago that I utilized their services, and it's hard to believe that so much has happened in 30 years. Ups and downs, good things, and one of the things that Pregnancy Resources offered me was a sense of hope. I was in a dark time in my life when I got pregnant, and it was really incredible to me, the hope that they offered me that sustained me over the last 30 years. I was 16 when I got pregnant, and I thought to myself, I'm gonna go and I'm gonna make a plan. I'm gonna decide, how am I gonna move forward with this? How am I gonna carry on through school and make a plan? To my surprise, I went to my guidance counselor, and I was discouraged very quickly. He told me I should go ahead and quit school, that I wouldn't be able to do what I needed to do to continue with school. I was only a junior in high school, and I believed him, so I quit school. I lost many of my friends. I had a falling out with my parents. I lived with my mom and my stepdad at the time. And quickly after that, went to live with my dad, who was in the throes of his battle with alcoholism. A loving father, but he just had his battles. And through that time, I struggled. I really wanted to go back to school. I knew I had to make a plan for myself. I knew I had to make a life for myself. One of the great things about having a child is it brings reconciliation. You know, there's so much joy when you have a child that it's great to bring people back together. So after I had my daughter in June of 1990, I can't remember, 1990, I guess it was. I went to Pregnancy Resources for the first time, and they were the first place that really truly offered me hope. They encouraged me to go back to school. They helped me make a plan to go back to school. And I was really surprised that they just offered so much love and encouragement. And that's something that I still see today with the services that they offer. I did go back to school. I was able to finish high school the same with my graduating class. I had to take a summer school class afterwards, but I was able to finish high school. They also talked to me about college classes and helped me get in touch with resources that helped me, get an apartment for myself and my daughter, and just really encouraged me. And that hope has carried me throughout my years. I've been just celebrated 29 years of marriage with my husband. We have 2 kids, and now we have a grandson. I did finish high school. I did go on to college. And I recently, over the last 10 years, have started my own business. I have 2 businesses where I help seniors in difficult times. So I carry that hope with me throughout everything that I do. And I really appreciate what Pregnancy Resources has offered me. And I've been able to share that with my family. And that's what this is all about. You do have a life, even though you're going through difficult times, even though you are having a child at a young age. There's so much to offer, and I really appreciate what Pregnancy Resources has brought to my life.
2019 was a great year here at Pregnancy Resources. God opened the doors for more than 1,400 men and women to walk through and find help and hope. There were 895 pregnancy tests. Did you hear that number? 895. And 495 life-affirming ultrasounds were provided. Here's a video clip of one of those ultrasounds. It is crazy, it is compelling, it is amazing to see your child on the screen, to see their fingers and toes, to see their heart beating. God uses the window of the womb to soften hearts and change minds for life every day. 272 dads came to Pregnancy Resources to learn how to be a better and more impactful father. There were more than 838 conversations about God, and the door was opened to present the gospel 53 times. That is more than once a week. People don't come here looking for Jesus, but they find him here every single day. Pregnancy Resources is honored to walk alongside parents wherever they are in their parenting journey. This year, 2 parents that we got to meet and walk alongside are Camille and Junior. They are a fantastic couple who is discovering life as soon-to-be parents, and I am thrilled tonight to let you hear their story in their words.
So I'm Camille, this is my husband Junior. We're expecting our first child due in September. It's a girl, and so right now, tomorrow I'll be 25 weeks, and I'm about to start an internship with the Scott County Prosecutor's Office before I finish my last year of law school. And he and I are also in the process of moving into our first place. When I took a test at home and it was positive, we came over here. So I had my first confirmed pregnancy test done here. And I also have had a few ultrasounds here and been able to utilize Bella's Boutique for some maternity clothes and some baby clothes in preparation for the baby.
When we found out we were pregnant, it was exciting news and also a bit scary since we were both going to be a parent for the first time. But I was introduced to Dr. Dad here at the Resource Center, and I took some few classes, which was very rewarding because I got some coupon to take car seat home and some diapers, and it was very nice because I learned stuff that I didn't know before or that I didn't think I'm gonna know. And the teacher, Kevin, he was very friendly. He was very kind. He asked me a question to make sure I know what I need to know. And if I ask any question that he didn't know, he'll make sure he find out and tell me. The staff here, I appreciate them making it possible for me to learn the stuff that I need to know, and they're very welcoming and nice. So for anybody that are looking to learn how to be a father or who's going to be a new dad and then don't know what to do, I'll say this place is a very, very nice place to come and learn that.
It's a very welcoming, friendly environment.
And right behind you is a baby, the fetal development doll that's 26 weeks. So why don't you grab that gently. Nice. And that's how big your little one is right now, right? Just about. So we're gonna have her stay and bake for hopefully another 3 or 4 months, right?
Yes.
She needs to get a little bit bigger. Well, it has been so much fun for us to watch you journey through dating and then marriage and now starting your family and finishing school. And we are so excited as a PRC family to meet that little one when she arrives, hopefully sometime in September. I love to hear Camille and Junior's story. I love to see the excitement in their face, the joy in their voice. It's so clear, you can't miss it. 91% of the families who come through our doors choose life for their child. Some of them, like Camille and Junior, are excited from the moment they find out they're pregnant. Others work towards excitement. First they're surprised, then they're excited. They choose life for their child. But the reality is, not everyone makes that choice. Tonight, we know that there are some families who are watching this program together. And if you have a little one sitting next to you on the couch, this might be a good time for them to go get a drink or get a snack. Because next, my friend Tori is going to share her story. Tori has an amazing testimony. It's a testimony of redemption. It's a testimony of grace. It's a testimony of healing, of forgiveness. It's a testimony of a life without shame. It's a testimony of how God has delivered her from the pain of her previous abortion. Take a minute, lean in, and embrace Tori's story.
I grew up being what I would call a weekend Christian. My parents divorced when I was 8, and I lived with my mom and my stepdad and went to church with my dad on the weekends. My dad was a strong Christian and raised me to know the Bible, and I was always pro-life. As I grew older, I steered more towards partying and rebelling than the Christian lifestyle. What was dabbling in my teens turned onto full-on alcoholism and drug addiction for the next 20 years. I got my first DWI in 2004, and my record bloomed from there. Drug charges, driving without a license, failure to appear, warrants out for my arrest, in and out of jail, and probation. In 2010, I became pregnant with my now 9-year-old son, Killian. I always wondered why, when women found out they were pregnant, they couldn't just clean up for their child. So I did just that. I had a good job, a stable income, and a place to live. I was able to quit using meth, alcohol, and cigarettes and have a healthy pregnancy. I promised myself that I wouldn't use or drink after I had Killian, but that only lasted a few months. I started drinking and using again. I ended up getting my second DWI when he was 4 months old. I lost my car, my job, my home. For the next 5 years that I ran around in active addiction, I made terrible choices. I was in and out of relationships full of domestic abuse, both mentally and physically. Unfortunately, during this time, I found myself pregnant again. This time, I wasn't able to clean up. Homeless and addicted to meth, I decided an abortion was the only answer. 3 people drove me to the abortion facility, one of whom was the baby's father. They dropped me off, and I went in alone. The nurse said I was a little over 9 weeks pregnant and that I was healthy because my hemoglobin count was high. That was not true. I weighed less than 100 pounds. I was drunk and I hadn't slept for days because of the use of meth. They told me I'd only feel a slight discomfort. Not in my experience. Instead, it felt as if my insides were being ripped apart. I was screaming, crying, and thrashing, and nurses had to hold me down. Everyone said that an abortion would be the answer to my problems. That was not true. That abortion killed what spirit I had left. I left there feeling worthless and empty and couldn't believe what I had done. I fell deeper into addiction and deeper into darkness. From there, I self-medicated with more drugs, more alcohol, and more men. Anything to fill the void of what I had done. I became pregnant again and had a second abortion, this time at 5 weeks. After that, I can't really describe how I felt, hollow and lost and alone. I tried to find my way through many things, but nothing helped. People say abortion providers care about women, not in my experience. I called the abortion facility for aftercare, and they treated me like I wasn't a person, telling me they couldn't help me any longer. I wondered where I could go. I was too ashamed to tell anyone about the abortions. Just recently, while sharing my story with someone, he said to me, "Well, Tori, that isn't their job. Their job isn't to take care of you." And I realized he was right. It is not their job to worry about my health or women's health, and certainly not their job to worry about the health of my babies. It wasn't until years later that my apartment got raided for meth that I decided I needed to clean up my life. I went to treatment, and it was there that I got saved. I learned that secrets keep you sick, so I gave up all the secrets I had stuffed inside, all the horrible things I had done, all the horrible things that had been done to me. I was able to give it all up, all except the abortions. I was not going to share that. However, I had no idea that the physical and emotional trauma that having these abortions would cause me. The anguish of taking my children's lives was more than I could bear. I took away my children. I took away siblings for my son. I thought the pain would just go away with sobriety, but it didn't. God had a different plan for me. I bought Luana Stoltenberg's book, Singing in the Wilderness, and while reading it, I thought, this is my story. So I praised God for not giving up on me. I contacted Luana, we met, and she told me about an abortion recovery Bible study called Forgiven and Set Free that is offered through Pregnancy Resources. I started the Bible study, and it was a life-transforming 10 weeks. I can remember the moment that I felt the weight lift off my shoulders. The chains broke, and all the burden and shame was gone. It was exactly the healing that I needed. We were able to name our children and have a memorial service for them. I wrote them a poem and thanked God for taking care of my children when I did not. Just as I think about loved ones that I have lost and wonder who they would be today, I still wonder about my children. I wonder what they would look like, what their hobbies would be. I wonder what row we would sit in at church. I wonder if they would sit by me or sit by their older brother, Killian. I can wonder all these things today, but without the guilt and shame, without the physical sickness that it once caused me. I know that they are in heaven, and I will be seeing them again someday, because today I am a grateful believer in Jesus Christ, grateful to God for the forgiveness He has given me, and I'm looking forward to the plans God has for me in the future. Thank you.
I will never get tired of hearing testimonies of how God is touching lives and changing eternity. I always love to hear how Pregnancy Resources impacts families. Rhonda shows us that with time, God can do beautiful things, and she has a beautiful legacy. Camille and Junior, they are excited new parents, and pretty soon we're gonna get to meet their baby girl. And Tori, Tori reminds us that there is nothing that is unredeemable. There is always hope. There is always a future. And there is always a way that God can use even the most broken parts of our story for His glory. In 2020, we have faced some unusual things. 2020 has brought us COVID-19, and let's be real, whether we like it or not, it has changed and impacted all of our lives. But Pregnancy Resources is still here. Our doors are still open, and we are still offering help and hope and compassion. In the first 6 months of this year, 5.5, we have seen more abortion-minded clients than ever. We're still providing pregnancy tests, and we're still providing ultrasounds. We're offering emergency care at unseen levels. And when we give with an open hand, God continues to provide for our needs. That's because of God's power and your obedience. We give away diapers, and you literally bring them in by the truckload. We provide ultrasounds, and you continually, faithfully send us your financial support. We could not do this ministry without you. And as we look to the future, I'd like to take just about 2 minutes and tell you what we believe God is calling us to next. You see, our first 30 years have been some amazing 30 years, but we know that God does not call us to stay here. We believe that God is calling us to even greater things. What do you ask? Let me tell you. I'd like to take just a couple of minutes and tell you what we believe God is calling us to next, with your support, with your prayer support, with your volunteer time, and with your sacrificial giving. We believe that there are 3 new amazing things in our future. First, we believe that God is calling us to expand our medical team. We want to have nurses in both of our centers every day that we're open. We want to be able to offer life-affirming ultrasounds in the moment of crisis. Second, we want to expand the use of our mobile medical unit. There are men and women who simply can't get to one of our centers, and so we want to take life-affirming care to them. Right now, we're in Muscatine, and we're at the lower west end of Rock Island, but there are other places right here in the Quad Cities that need hope. They're seeking Jesus, and they are facing a crisis. Finally, we want to expand our center services. We believe that God is calling us to open up a center on Saturdays. It's going to be shortened hours, probably from about 10 o'clock in the morning to about 2 o'clock in the afternoon. And when the center opens, we will have a full team of volunteers and staff to offer classes, material assistance, pregnancy tests, and ultrasounds. We know that when we are available and the doors are open, God sends those with the greatest need. But these goals, this vision is not possible unless you continue to partner with us. You have been so faithful in the past. God's story in the Quad Cities, Pregnancy Resources story in the Quad Cities, you're a part of that story. And tonight we have the opportunity to come together again and see God do amazing things as we join together. Tonight's banquet has a huge financial goal. We are looking to raise $150,000 in the next 30 days. What? Say it again. Say it loud. $150,000. The good news? We are already almost a third of the way there. You're like, what? I'm like, I know, a third of the way there. But for us to reach the rest of the goal, we're gonna need your help. And so we're making giving easy. We're making partnering with Pregnancy Resources financially as uncomplicated as possible. You can text to give, you can go online to give, or you can fill out this form and send it in. $150,000 is recognizably a God-sized goal, but we believe that when God inspires the vision, there is also God's provision. And so tonight, I'd like to walk you through how you can partner with us financially. You can give a one-time gift, or you can become a monthly partner. Maybe God's calling you to do both. Tonight, we believe that there are 300 families and individuals that will give their best one-time gift. We also believe that there are at least 30 new families that will join as monthly partners or increase their monthly partnership. We have a generous benefactor who has pledged to give $1,000 in the month of July and in the month of August to match all new and increased monthly partnerships. Monthly partnerships provide sustained giving. You should have received in the mail a card that looks like this. This is one of the ways that you can respond. You can also text to give or go online to give. If you choose to fill out the card, let me walk you through just a couple of things you need to know. On the front side of the card, you're going to be able to indicate what your best one-time gift to advance the vision of Pregnancy Resources is. Maybe your best one-time gift is a $50 gift or a $500 gift or a $5,000 gift. You and God know what that amount is, and I trust you to honor that. Maybe God is inspiring you to partner with us for sustained giving. It is sustained giving that keeps our center doors open. Partnership with Pregnancy Resources on a monthly basis is easy. You can mail your check in every month, or you can contact Marissa to sign up for automatic giving, either through your bank or on your credit card. Marissa is easy to find. She's at the Davenport Center. You can call 563-386-3737, or you can text her. No, you can't. Don't text her. Just kidding. If you email Marissa, why don't you send that to Marissa, MARISSA, @qcpregnancy.org. On the back side of the card, you're going to provide your name and some contact information. You're going to let us know if you're sending a one-time or a monthly gift. You can even provide your credit card or bank information if you'd like. We want to make this easy. We want to make this uncomplicated. We believe that God is calling us to do great things together. We know that our first 30 years are just a glimpse of what God has in store for the next 30 years. Thank you for your support. Thank you for your encouragement. And thank you for your partnership. God bless and good night.